history. Attend. Present. Holmes. Sonny from Pennsylvania. Paula Noel from Florida. Emma B. from Florida. Emily and Veronica from Texas. Scott from Wisconsin. Doc Roger from New Mexico. Brian from Louisiana. Roz from Michigan. Gloria Andrews from Georgia. Louis and Sandra from California. Pamela Ann from Florida. Annette Stover from Texas. John Smith from Florida. Bill O'Rourke from Florida. Tom Olson from Wisconsin. Mary, formerly from Oregon. Craig Andrews from Pennsylvania. Paula Noel from Florida. Emma B. again from Florida. Butterfly on my walls. Carol Jean from Texas. Roz from Michigan. Juliet Thomas from Texas. Mary from Washington State. Thomas Jeffrey Hanks from California. Marion Singer from Colorado. And Lori Mitchell from Mississippi. Heroes for History! Well, how could I resist recognizing our Heroes for History by opening it up with an amazing Scottish song of honor? None other than Scotland the Brave. And with J.D. Oliver coming from the beautiful country of Scotland and having his roots there, I had to open this final premiere to honor our Heroes for History, our champions for history, with that sort of a opening song. Right? Yeah. So, let me ring the bell, get some lights on, and let's take a look at these heroes again, without quite as much drama in the music, but hey, cool is cool, right? Well, any of you that follow this channel or the activities on Facebook know that back at the beginning of this month, February 1st, we kicked off a fundraiser and contest to benefit the good folks down in South Bend, Indiana. And when I started this contest and had this idea after my visit down there to meet these great folks, I really didn't know what the final outcome would be. I knew that the people that followed my work, let me come into this shot with all of my friends. I knew that the followers of my work were incredibly generous, kind, dedicated individuals. They just care. I mean, you can tell people that fake like they're caring, and you can tell people that genuinely care. And these folks right behind me here, they're the genuine article. They know what caring is all about, and they put rubber to the road. They make it happen. They make it real. And I can't be any more in awe of what our final result is. And if you follow us on Facebook, you already know that, well, let me show you. That's a lot of zeros. Oh my goodness. That's a lot of zeros. We raised, with this small, dedicated, compassionate, generous group of heroes, over $10,000. $10,000. And this campaign, I actually shortened it by a week. It was supposed to run from February 1st until Monday, February 22nd. And we ended up ending it a week early. It ended on February 15th. So in a period of 2 weeks, in a period of only 2 weeks, and we're not talking full weeks because no donations were collected on the weekend. So we're basically talking about the equivalent of 10 days. In approximately 10 days, we raised over $10,000. If you average that out, that's like over $1,000 a day. Over $1,000 a day. And this is during the course of a pandemic. This is during the course of incredible uncertainty in our economic stability. This is during the course of huge joblessness across our nation and around the world for that matter. And yet this dedicated army of heroes stepped out there in faith and they said, you know what? Scott believes in this. We believe in this. Scott wants us to rally and to make this happen. Guess what? We're going to make this happen. There's a saying that basically goes, never doubt, never be skeptical, never underestimate what a small group of dedicated individuals can accomplish. Could that be any more evidenced than during the course of this campaign? Like I said, I'm absolutely in awe. I'm absolutely marveling about these individuals behind me, that some of them have limited resources. Some of them come from situations where they're on fixed income. Some of them come from situations where maybe there was joblessness that hit their family. It did not waver their dedication to this cause. It did not cause them to become fearful, to be doubtful, to become skeptical about could it be done. As a matter of fact, early in this campaign, I was the skeptic. I was the one that thought if we raise $1,000, that would be amazing. $1,000 is a lot of money in my world. Maybe not in some worlds, but $1,000, that's a lot of money. And to an organization that's trying to survive, like the History Museum down in South Bend, Indiana, that $1,000 would have made a difference. It would have covered something, one of their many, many bills that they have to keep an operation like that running. But my closest friends, my confidants, many of whom are on this board behind me, many of whom probably have greater faith than I do in how much people care and how much people believe in what I believe in. And they said, don't even go down that road, Scott. Don't even talk about $1,000. Yeah, that's a lot of money, but this need is greater than that. Over 30% of the museums across the nation during this pandemic have closed their doors permanently, and we are not going to let that happen to the History Museum in South Bend, Indiana on our watch. It ain't going to happen. And boy, were they right. Boy, were they right. Let's take a look at those heroes again and celebrate the incredible outcome of this 10-day campaign to help our friends down in the great state of Indiana. A 10-day campaign that ended up raising over $10,000. $10,100 in 10 days. If that isn't, wow, stop the presses. Wow. Let's contact the media and show them what caring looks like. And the most amazing thing about this entire campaign, and I said this more than once, if you look closely at these two boards of our Heroes for History, and as I read them off, if you listen attentively, this is a classroom after all. So I want you to listen attentively. Not a single one of these individuals came from the great state of Indiana. Not a single one lives in Indiana. The closest we came is my dear friend Roz from the great state of Michigan, where in honor of her dad, Ernest E. Roos Jr. of Hobart, Indiana, she made a donation when she donated on a series of Slant-O-Matic machines that I offered for donation. She ended up scooping up the 403A. But my point is this: the closest we got to somebody from the great state of Indiana stepping out and saying, this is our museum, this is in our state, maybe it's even in our town. We're going to step forward in faith. Uncertain times, pandemic, the whole blah, blah, blah. But we are not going to be hindered by that, because this is a cause that is worthy. This is a cause that deserves our support. This is a cause that deserves our sacrifice. Again, it's not equal giving. It's equal sacrifice. To one, $100 is a sacrifice. To another, $500 is a sacrifice. To another, $1,000 is a sacrifice. To another, and you get the idea. All of us are blessed with different resources. Our storehouses have different fill ratios, for lack of a better description. We all have different resources, and when we give sacrificially, that is what defines a hero. And all of these individuals on this board meet that definition of what, in my book, would classify being a hero. And I want to look at them again, but I first of all just want to pause and say, I'm absolutely in awe. I'm absolutely speechless almost, which is a miracle for me, as most of you know, about what we accomplished in only 10 days. In only 10 days. During all the challenges, and many of these individuals you're looking at on the board right now have their own demons that they're battling, their own challenges. Some are overcoming cancer. Some have had great tragedies in their life. Some are fighting depression because of this extended pandemic that we've had. Some are facing joblessness. Some are jobless. And yet that wasn't enough to slow this army of amazing heroes for history down. It was not enough to slow them down. 10 days, over $10,000. 10 days, over $10,000. 10 days, over $10,000. Wow. Wow. Absolutely incredible. So let's look at those heroes again, and I should probably, but I'm not set up for it, I should probably put on some sort of music, right? Probably should put some sort of music on. But what music can I put on? Well, we'll put on a little bit more Celtic style music, again, to honor the J.D. Oliver family, to honor the roots of this incredible legacy that really inspired me when I was down there as well, when I toured Copshahome with Skylar. So let's listen to a little bit more Celtic music as I'm reading these names off again to honor them, if that's okay with you. Yeah. Well, I want to zoom in on them too, so bear with me for a second here. Some of my earliest champions that stepped out in the very first couple of days as I initiated this campaign, that was a simple idea that I had after visiting these folks down in South Bend, Indiana. A simple little idea that all of a sudden took on steam and has resulted in a life-changing event for those great folks, which I'm so happy for, so grateful for. One of my first champions that stepped out was Sonny from Pennsylvania. Sonny, thank you again for being a hero for history. Paula Noel from Florida, another hero for history. Emma B., another hero for history. Emily and Veronica from Texas, heroes for history. My good friend, Brian from Louisiana, another hero for history. That Scott guy from Wisconsin. Doc Roger from New Mexico. Gloria Andrews. Also known as Gigi from Georgia. Thank you again, Gloria. Thank you to all of you. My dear friends, Louie and Sandra from California. Raj from Michigan. Pamela Ann from Florida. Annette Stover from Texas. John Smith, who I missed through almost the entire campaign. Thank you, John. Thank you so much for being a hero for history, my friend. I think I already said Pamela Ann, but heck, I'll say it again. Thank you, Pamela Ann. Incredibly generous Mary, who formerly is from Oregon and accepted my challenge in saying, I used to live in Oregon, that beautiful state. Scott's called it out several times. I am going to step out there and represent the great state of Oregon. Thank you again, Mary. You are truly a hero's hero when it comes to your generosity. Thank you so much. My friend Tom Olson, who, thank goodness, is from Wisconsin. We finally got another Wisconsin person, which is totally awesome. And last but certainly not least, my dear friend Bill O'Rourke, who stepped into the light only very recently and said, count me in. Count me in, Scott. Now we're going to jump to the other board, and you'll see some names pop up more than once, and that's because these folks gave more than once. Which board am I on? I'm not even on the right board there. So we've got Craig Edwards as well, another hero for history. And he was one of those individuals that scooped up the Slant-O-Matic machines that I would not sell, but I put up for donation for this great cause. Then we have my good friend Butterfly on my walls, Carol Jean from Texas, that said, count me in. I've got to set an alarm to remember to take care of this because my life is busy, but this is important. And Carol Jean stepped out there and said, yeah, I'm going to make it happen. You know I will. You know I will, Scott. Yes, I do. Paula Noel, there she is again. Made a $400 donation for that 401A. A hero's hero. Another hero's hero. Emma B. donated more than once and also scooped up that 503A, her dream machine. It's yours, Emma B. It's yours. Another hero's hero, Ross from the great state of Michigan, that not only donated more than once and is a hero's hero, but also took up my challenge to honor a hero in her history, her father, Ernest E. Roos, Jr. of Hobart, Indiana. Yeah, there's my Indiana person right there, right there. All right, what about Juliet Thomas, another Texan? My Texans were all
over this campaign, saying, not only do we do things big, but we're going to do this campaign big as well. Because Scott believes in it, we believe in it. There she is again. Any surprise? Where am I? I don't even know what board I'm on. There's Mary again from the great state of Washington, where she lives now. Again, she donated as well for the great state of Oregon, so that Oregon would be represented. Then we're going to drop over here to again, this name that just blows me away. Marion Singer from Colorado, who said, yeah, count me in. I want to represent Colorado. I want to represent them. My dear friend, Lori Mitchell from Mississippi, who stepped into the ring at the very end and said, I've been listening to this, I've been watching, I've been waiting, it's time for action. And she did it. Yes, she did. Way to go, Lori. Way to go, being a hero for history. And last but certainly not least, some dude called Thomas Jeffrey Hanks from California by way of Greece, who said, yeah, people are going to doubt that a guy like me is going to care, but yes, I do. And I'm going to care in a big way, and I'm going to make it happen. Because Scott believes in this, I believe in this. Thank you, Tom and Rita. You made a huge impact. Thank you so much. You guys are heroes. Again, folks, never doubt. Never be skeptical. Never allow someone to second guess you and say, it's only a small group of individuals. It's only these folks on these boards, some of which are duplicated because they were so crazy, out of your mind, generous for this cause. So we're only looking at about 20-some folks. That's only a very small army, a very small army. But you know what? Never doubt, never be skeptical of what a small group of dedicated, passionate, amazing individuals can accomplish. Not over a month, not over a year, over 10 days. 10 days. 10 days. My salute to my heroes for history for making this possible, for being the wind beneath the wings of a simple, crazy little idea that I told you all about down near the bay here in Oconto, Wisconsin after I got back with a load of bricks on the floorboard in my car. I said, I got an idea. I've got this crazy, lunatic idea that we can make a difference for the South Bend, Indiana people. None of you thought it was crazy. None of you said, I don't think that's going to happen. You were the ones that bolstered me up and said, it's not only going to happen, it's going to happen in a big way. Is that just talking? No. That's not talking. That right there is walking. $10,100 in 10 days. All you got to do is believe, right? Just believe. Thanks again, everybody. You are amazing. And you know what? Y'all know that I enjoy just a little bit of drama. Right, Dr. Singer? Yeah, I am a playful player in the playroom, aren't I? Yep. And all of my friends know that as well. That when I step behind a cause, I am dead serious about it. And speaking of my friend Doc Roger from New Mexico. There again is that amazing 109-year-old postcard that was sent from the Boston area. Actually, reverse that. It was sent from South Bend, Indiana to Boston, letting someone know that they had arrived safely at the Singer plant in South Bend, Indiana. And again, my intent is to donate that when I go down to close this out and to pick that winner out of my really cool steampunk hat. Yep, I'm going to use my steampunk hat. And I want to do a shout out to Shelby and say thank you so much. My printer's been a little bit fickle, and she's going to print up all of the entries, all of them. There's a lot of entries, folks, when you count them out. And she's going to have those ready so we can drop them in the hat. We can get together, hopefully at Kopsha and we can pick that name out of the hat, and we can celebrate our Heroes for History. And I'm going to bring these boards along as well down to South Bend, Indiana. And I printed up these little labels. I should say I had them printed up. And when we call off these names again down there in what I hope is going to be Kopsha, the Oliver Mansion, I'm going to ask for Brian's help or one of the other stakeholders down there to attach one of these special tags that say the History Museum to each one of these names on the board. Every single name is going to get one of these tags to commemorate the fact that our friends down in South Bend, Indiana recognize that you are heroes for history. Right, Umi? Yes. They are heroes indeed. It only takes a small army, folks. And with enough faith and determination, it only takes 10 days. 10 days to make a miracle happen. Only 10 days. All right, I got to do it one more time because I think it's an absolutely fabulous song. I should almost say it's not even a song, it's an anthem. And I can only guess that J.D. Oliver, coming from the small village of Kopsha in Scotland, saw this as an incredible anthem entitled Scotland the Brave. Scotland the Brave. And all of these folks right here on this board deserve this anthem again because they are brave. During the course of a pandemic, during uncertain economic times, during joblessness across our nation around the world, they stepped out with faith and conviction and said, this is going to happen. So once again, to wrap this up, bear with me for a second here. Here we go. Again, Heroes for History. Sonny from Pennsylvania, Paula Noel from Florida, Emma B. from Florida, Emily and Veronica from Texas, Scott from Wisconsin, Doc Roger from New Mexico, Brian from Louisiana, Roz from Michigan, Louie and Sandra from California, Gloria or Gigi Andrews from Georgia, Pamela Ann from Florida, Annette Stover from Texas, John Smith from Florida, Tom Olson from Wisconsin, Mary, formerly from Oregon, Bill O'Rourke from Florida, Craig Edwards from Pennsylvania, Paula Noel from Florida, Emma B. from Florida, Ross from Michigan in honor of her father, Ernest E. Roos Jr. of Hobart, Indiana. Butterfly on my walls, Carol Jean from Texas. Mary again from the great state of Washington. Juliet Thomas from Texas. Marion Singer from Colorado. Thomas Jeffrey Hanks from California. And Lori Mitchell from Mississippi. Heroes for history! Yeah, baby, yeah!